trap with the pack out, get it. You read it, you told. I heard that's what happened out, didn't it? Nigga, you bold. This shit a new era. Niggas come home on papers without a scratch on.
Hello, everyone. Another Monday. It's Dante Suave, Mr. J. What is up?
What's going on, everybody?
Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers in the house.
Definitely happy belated
Especially if
Father's
you
Day.
got your last child support payment paid off. Woo, 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 woo.
There's no better feeling in the world to sit there and have that notification
Woo.
saying you're done.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he graduated. I actually got to take him his stuff because he didn't walk. He's my one that's autistic, and he's not a people person right now. So he's like, yeah, no, I don't want to walk. I'm like, you graduated. All right, it is what it is. Let's go. You graduated. So, but I did have him um put on his gown and everything, and me and his mom popped a couple quick pictures and took a picture of his diploma and like, yeah, his mom is, with all the kids that she had on her side, she's like 3 out of 4. I'm 3-0, baby. Yeah. All right, but let's get started because and by any means, I have some articles I would like to talk about. If you would like to throw something in there and make me look at what I got and go, you know what, that's not as
It's
juicy
not
as
been
what you got.
it's been a slow news week. It really has. Besides the super celebration for the championship, which was neat to see, but I think they already overplayed it. For the Knicks, the whole the parade, and basically that's been repeating on NBA TV every day since then. It's like it's only so many times you can watch the parade,
Right. Well, I
but
mean, it's hopefully they ain't doing that. Like, you better enjoy it. Might be another 50 years before you get another one.
I
Hopefully
wouldn't
they
be
ain't doing it
surprised.
because of that.
I don't think it. I don't know. It's with everything that's been going on. It's about to be an interesting couple of weeks for sure. It's about to be a very interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Starting possibly tonight.
Yeah, let's start off with what you hit me up about that I heard while I was still indisposed at work. My guy Dusty May left my Wolverines. I guess he said all the controversy has been too much. He gonna get out while the getting's good. He
But
gonna get
but
out.
my question is that you don't. I like Michigan pivoting fast and keeping the assistant coach, because normally when one of those coaches leave, they try to take their entire staff with them.
Mhm.
So I like the fact that they did that, but it's right before the draft. You basically don't have no say in anything that goes on in the draft because it'll be your first day on the job. And Masai Ujiri just took over being the GM of them within the past month. So it's the blind leading the blind, and you can't expect any type of real excellence coming out of you can't expect anything immediately out of Dallas right now. You really can't. Because yes, you got Cooper Flag going into his second year. You got you don't know what you're gonna do with Kyrie. Now you got a college coach with no NBA experience, I don't think, coming in to restart your program, and you got a new GM. Oh, and the
Okay.
draft's tomorrow.
Okay. Now,
So
just some things that me and you have talked about that I want to rehash.
mhm.
To me, they need to move Cooper back to his original position now. The Jason
Yeah,
Kidd, the Jason Kidd experiment should be over. they
More
need
than
to
likely, it is.
they need to find some credible backups for like when Kyrie is hurt. Point guard position should be very important, which you have in Cooper Flag, which you have in Lively, which you have in Washington. I feel like that is part of what hurt Dallas because with Doncic being the point forward, right?
Right.
They were getting the ball. They were able to get in the game. And I
Right.
feel like that's part of him putting Cooper out of position and trying to turn him into a point guard is what hurt them because Washington, Lively, and uh there's a third one. Those guys ain't slouches and they're good on defense.
No,
So
and that's what they hung their hat on was on defense.
right. So with them making all these changes, and then you bring in Cooper, you playing him out of position because you want to make him the next Doncic. No, give him what he was doing good with in college. Don't
But
don't
now,
don't be trying to work new. And like I said, I respect Jason Kidd, and that's the only way. That's the only reason I didn't, because I completely disagree with it. But I didn't trash it to the level because I have a level of respect for him, and I was thinking about it from this standpoint. Maybe he's seeing something that I don't see. Him being an experienced NBA point guard. Maybe he's seeing something in Cooper, or maybe like I was thinking, he was just grasping at straws because you got this talent, and you want to push him at the forefront, but you're pushing him at the forefront in a way that you don't need to.
but it's Dallas right now. Dallas has to take a real good look in the mirror when it comes to their franchise.
And Kyrie might have to go too.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Everything you have to think about it. Your worst decisions and your worst actions that you've done have came back to bite you over the past 5 years. Have came back to bite you in the ass. You didn't want to re-sign Jalen Brunson. He wanted to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
He took the free agent deal to go to New York. Within 5 years, he's got a chip.
Mm-hmm.
And within that 5 years, you turn around, the person that you basically was saying you wanted him to run the point, so you didn't want Jalen to run the point, that made Jalen expendable. You traded away, and then you traded away who you traded him away for. Everybody that's in that leadership build throughout that time frame is gone. So now it's just like, what do you do? What do you do? It's a mess. So I hope that it works out. I'm a big proponent of what was going on in Michigan to where May went from recruiting heavily because he got a transfer from one of the players, the star player from UC that left after college left.
Yeah.
After the head coach left. So you done recruited all this time and built all this up. You going through summer practices right now, and you going up and leave. This,
Um.
this is where that whole thing of where, and I hate to say it, but this is where that whole backlash for the people that jump from place to place
Mm-hmm.
in the NIL
Mm-hmm.
becomes moot when it's not the same energy for the coaches that jump from place to place. And you can't knock him for going. And what's the thing? Oh, well, he's going to a better opportunity. Is Dallas really better than Michigan right now? If you really think about it from the hierarchy and the money,
On no level, to me, and you know me, I'm a Michigan fan. right now, the only shining light in Michigan right now is the basketball program,
Right,
and
right.
any program not associated with the football program, and
So
anything not associated with the football program right now.
So if that's the case, then if you are the beacon throughout everything that happened during the football season and everything that happened after the football season, you took that negative and turned it around to where you are the highlight of it. You are the man in Michigan right now.
Yeah,
Why would you leave? And if the only reason why you left was because of the money and aspect of it's not like Michigan boosters wouldn't have paid the to comp it. You got a raise after the season.
yeah. Um, Opportunities don't come along too often. I would
And
imagine,
I get that too.
I would imagine that possibly had something to play in it. And then, like I said, call a spade a spade. Call it, but paint it black and white. It seemed like as the years go on, questions about the integrity of the Michigan brand come into question. Get out while the getting's good. I just won the championship. I'm going out on a high. What? Dallas wants to hire me? Let's go. I'm going out on a high note.
But that's why I'm
I don't
like,
agree with it. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with it. But if this is what he's thinking, I get it.
it just was like I don't when it happened, I'm like when I seen it this morning, and it was crazy because I was behind. So I'm watching Get Up I'm listening to Get Up at 10 o'clock. I'm not listening to it live at 8 o'clock.
Uh,
And it broke during the replay of Get Up. And Get Up was pretty much all around what was going on with Giannis and his situation. So they didn't even get a chance to talk about it because it happened after that. They'll probably talk about it tomorrow morning leading up to the draft. But it's like you about to be in New York for the draft with your players that's coming out. You had players come back and return because they thought that they were going to be playing underneath you and get a chance to go back and go repeat. And you said, "No, I ain't worried about that repeat. I'm about to go to Dallas." There's got to be something smoke. I hate to be that skeptical person, but it's
yeah,
got to be either something smoking or you got out while the getting was good. But the problem
right.
with that thought process is that the situation that you left into, I could see if you left into a situation to where you're going to continue on that successful trend. Dallas is in a rebuild.
And depending on how they rebuild, like I said, they need a few pieces, and like I said,
They're a
they
few pieces away.
they need a few pieces depending on what they do.
Right. And that's the problem because you're going into where you would draft in order to address what you're going to do, but your brand new head coach ain't going to be in the job for 24 hours in order to set up what he's going to do in order to draft for it.
Well, then, unfortunately, they're gonna have to do some fast talking and fast decision making. Because, like I said, the I respect Kyrie, but they would have to do something about how he plays and when he gets in that mode of feeling like he has to do everything because it keeps getting him injured and he's more important on the court than he is off the court. So that it would be very important how they draft, what they who they pick, who they try to pick up in free agency, so that Kyrie does not always have to feel like, this guy is down or gone. So, which I feel like that was part of their gripe with Dante, which that was a legitimate gripe. It's To me, it's why he's not in the championship conversation. Just say what you want about the whole thing. He could have had a chip right now if he could have somehow gotten his body to cooperate, which would probably mean cooperating with the people that kept looking at him saying like, "Hey man, this stuff is gonna catch up. We let's get on it. Let's get on it. Let's get ahead of it." And he looking at him like, "Man, I'm Dante, man. Who you think you talking to? You from back in the day. Why you coming at me like that, bro? This my house. This my house now." And it's like, okay, and now you over in LA. Basically, there's nothing to say that what happened in LA was not going to happen in Dallas.
Right.
There's nothing to say it.
No, there's not.
So we know what part of the trade was the bad decision. But at the same time, like I said, two can be true, and it's looking like it was true. Dallas would have been hurting because think about it. Let's just say he had stayed there. And this trajectory with his soft tissue issues had started happening like they thought. They done paid him $384 million. Kyrie stays hurt because Dante stays down. So now Kyrie keeps thinking that he has to take over and put too much pressure on his body. He down. What would have been the difference? Oh, they didn't make a dumb trade for a hurt dude, a dude to stay hurt for a dude to stay hurt. Other than that, what that's what I'm saying. Details is important.
And this was
they dodged the bullet while running into a bullet. It was they was damned if they do it, and they was damned if they didn't. Unfortunately,
it's crazy because I'm always the person to where I'm not going to leave the situation that I'm in unless I know that I'm going to benefit from that move. I don't see no benefit in this move right now.
Yeah, right now, like I said, depending on who they draft and depending on who they can possibly get to come over in free agency, they could do some things, but you got to make some seriously thought-provoking. Don't be picking up nobody that's got that's got the potential to fall into injury issues. Don't be drafting nobody that's got injury issues, and they want to play. They know how to listen. The head coach and the GM is setting the standard for the team, and everybody is all bought in because those are the teams that's winning championships or at least appearing in the championship game.
So it's not that, and that's why I'm like, I don't. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because with that, that's the last. I think that's the last opening that's out there. And yeah, kid left late after Ujiri came in there, and that's the other thing. Their ownership.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think this. That's the other part that I'm trying to understand with it. Think about the mess that we've talked about. We've talked about Dallas numerous times on this show.
Yep.
About the entire mess that they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the ownership that's saying basically, we ain't doing this. We gonna be penny pinching and everything. That's the complete opposite of Cuban. You got Cuban sitting there saying, I should have never sold to him in the first place. I'm trying to figure out a way to get him back. You had the whole Nico Harrison deal with him making the trades and then becoming the scapegoat and getting fired and everything for that. Mm-hmm. You wait until way after the end of the season, well, the end of your season, to hire Masai Ujiri to be your GM. Then that means, okay, you got a new GM that's got, or president of basketball ops. You got him coming in here. He's got to meet with everybody that's on the staff. He meets with the coach. Oh, we don't see eye and eye philosophies. Now you're out of a coach. All this time you should be worried about scouting for the draft. All this time you're supposed to be worried about getting everything situated to get ready to have everybody situated for summer league and development and everything else. And now you're trying to find a coach. And in the midst of that, I was trying to look it up when they let kid go. But I want to say when they let kid go, come on, my computer wants to go slow today. When was Jason Kidd fired? I want to say it was like May 19th.
Yeah, that's when it was.
So a month, almost exactly a month later. And from what the reports was on Get Up, May wasn't the first choice. They were trying to get John Shira from Duke. And he
Shira ain't
turned it
going
down.
nowhere. Especially not to go there.
Right.
Like, no, I'm good. I'm good here in Duke, bro.
So I'm like, what in the world? So it's like it's not a golden setup for anything, and it's not been Dallas's past 2 years have been the only highlight was Cooper Flag.
Bro,
What?
is this legit?
What?
I get that he went to 2 Western Conference finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
His record was 205 and 205.
Yeah.
Bro.
You have to remember, they went from a championship to first round draft pick. Number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
His balance as a head coach has never been successful. And that's a whole nother subject. But I would like for people to stop thinking that just because a person was a point guard, they're going to be a great head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really think about it, when it comes down to it, you have some exceptions.
Yeah.
But most of the time, no. Because I've been hearing that Rondo's been getting a lot of
For years. Yeah.
Rondo's been getting a lot of play to be a head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. There have been players that have been saying for years that somebody need to hire Rondo as a head coach.
And maybe that's because his cerebralness from when he played the game. Jason Kidd, to me, never was really cerebral when he played the game. He was always he was defensive, but it never screamed to me like, yeah, you a star out here doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, he was talented. That was, but yeah. Yeah, he was he wasn't quite finesse.
No.
Not quite.
So I'm trying to see.
He was on the borderline of it, but yeah, no.
He never had back-to-back winning seasons.
As a head coach or as a player? Or both?
As a head coach.
Oh, yeah, that part. Yeah.
Because in the 5 years that he was there, they went 50 and 30, 52 and 30. Then they turned around and went 38 and 44.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went 50 and 32. Then they went 39 and 43. And then they went 26 and 56.
Yeah.
And so he either made it to the conference finals or he didn't go to the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Ain't no way.
Okay. Right. So, and that's why I called it out, even while we were talking about the whole Doncic thing. I said, why is Jason Kidd still there? Even if you give me like over the, if we looked at the whole bulk of his career, whenever he's been a head coach, I kind of feel like Chris Griffin. You remember that episode of Family Guy where he walked out of that Kevin Costner movie and he's like, how does this guy keep getting work? I he's
You
one of, what's
here's
up?
what happened, and here's the thing about it. He's been the coach of 3 different teams, right? The head coach. He's only won his division one time, and that was when Dallas when they went to the finals.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, he was second in the Atlantic, third in the Central, fifth in the Central, second in Central, got fired mid-season, second in Southwest, third in Southwest, first in Southwest, third in Southwest, third in Southwest. And yep, so he's never won. He's made one NBA final, one conference final, well, 2 conference finals,
Yeah.
and 3 conference semifinals. Everything else was either missed the playoffs or lost in the first round. Or he wasn't the coach by the time they got to the playoffs. So it's not there. It's not, oh boy.
Yeah. So, all right. So to wrap this up in a nutshell, I do wish Dusty May luck. He's gonna need it. Hopefully whatever he saw in Dallas that he thinks that his talent as a coach, if he brings it to Dallas, can turn them around. I hope it does work out because the fans deserve it. The players deserve it because, like I said, they still got players on that team. They still got players. As far as I'm concerned, if you got players that made it to the championship and things change, and all of a sudden them same players can't even get you close or a sniff, that's more than just the loss of that one player. That's it's time to clean house. It's time to clean up the house. It's time to straighten up the house. The house is a mess. It's time to clean it up. Because we know how talented Kyrie is. We know how talented Lively and Washington and what was the third dude's name? It was Washington, Lively, and there was one more. It was like 1 or 2 more dudes that they had that were pretty good on that championship
I
run.
forgot who else was on that team. Hold on. Because here's the crazy part. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the 3 players I'm thinking about, they're still there. I just can't think of who the third guy is.
No, they are. Trying to see here. Who was it? I'm checking the team now. Because they was the 5th seed out. They were the 5th seed that year.
Gafford, that's who I'm thinking about.
Oh
I
yeah.
knew there was a third one. And I knew it started with a G. I just couldn't think of it. I'm like, who is it? I'm like, dang it. Bagley coming off the bench the year that they went to the championship was not bad.
No.
What did this whole thing? Do you think this whole thing with Cooper Flag just kind of killed Max Christie's mojo?
Yes. Yeah. Plus Max Christie couldn't play. He plays a 2 or a 3. they let Flag play the 2 or 3. So when he got traded there, it was under the impression that he was going to work with the 2. But after the fact, it was like, nah, it ain't gonna work.
Which that's probably another thing that's hurting them right now because they need they need Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams was a point guard. Okay. Then and Ryan Nemhard. To me, he's as talented as his brother. And I don't know if that guy should be starting. They need somebody with a little bit more uh umph when it comes to being the point guard to me. I've seen him play. He's as talented as his brother in Indiana, but enough to be a starter and uh uh and making the team better from the looks of it, no. But we don't know because we got to see what the team will look like without um what's his face running without Flag running the point.
True.
So it's too many questions. First, you got to see what you got. Like I said, Bagley's not bad. Christie needs to work on his consistency, but you can't work on your consistency if your position got taken.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at that squad that they had, I'm pulling up NBA.com now. Maxi Kleber's not.
Who?
They had Maxi Kleber, Derek Lively, Markieff Morris. He ain't playing no more. Derek Jones Jr. Oh, I don't know who Prosper is. PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dante Exum, Luka Doncic, and then Gafford. So they had players. Now I'm going to the teams now. I want to see who. Mm, 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 mm.
All right. I'm gonna let what you say be the last one, and then we're
Okay,
gonna
so I'm looking at the roster right now, right?
right.
Out of that squad that was there during that time frame, PJ Washington still there,
Uh-huh.
Kyrie
Lively,
still there,
yeah, Kyrie, Lively,
Lively, Gafford. That's it. Everybody else is gone.
Nemhard's gone.
Yeah,
Nemhard, Christie.
Nemhard wasn't with them then. Nemhard wasn't with them.
He's with them now, right?
Yeah, he's with them now, but he
Okay.
wasn't with them then.
Yeah, that was the roster I was looking at. I was looking at at who they had now.
Yeah,
Who they have now. And like I
and
said,
I'm sorry, they gotta get rid of. I'm looking at that roster now. You have no reason to keep Kyrie. Probably will be a good trade asset.
yeah,
Clay is not Clay anymore. Chris Middleton is not Chris Middleton anymore.
I don't even know why they picked him up. Like, why would you
That was a trade. That was a
oh
trade.
oh my God. And this is no disrespect to Chris Middleton, but he can't stay healthy. Why would you bring that dude to the team knowing he can't stay healthy? That's why the Bucks wasn't able to keep him because he couldn't
Right.
stay healthy. That was part of what kept killing the Bucks. They what they had when he was there. What they had in Milwaukee was essentially what Denver had with Aaron and Jokic and what's the
Wait, did he even play for them last year?
who?
For Dallas? They don't even
It's
have no. They don't have no updates for him on their website For
He
they
probably
all his last update that they have on there for his bio was 22, was 23, 24 with the Bucks.
yeah. So he probably
That's a Dunsky.
yeah. Yeah. So all right.
All
So
right.
let's jump into the Bonza because that's my guy. Even though he kind of got exposed when they started playing in the
He's
tournament.
still gonna be the number one draft pick. That was the biggest argument today. Um, Seth Greenberg and Jay Williams was arguing the entire show on Get Up today. That I've seen the argument going back and forth now between Peterson and Bonza. I'm sorry. I'm not taking Peterson with my number one draft pick. And they were saying, like, you can't look at what he did in Kansas. Look back when he was in high school. It's the people that's around him that need to shut up and let him do that. The people that was around him, if they got him through, he went to Kansas,
Yeah.
one of the bluest of blue bloods, and played diva games with Kansas.
Yeah.
So
And
what do you think you're gonna get if
in the
he already
NBA.
in the NBA, he already did not go to work out for Utah. And Utah's got the number 2 pick. So
Do you think any teams will be desperate and just draft him out of desperation?
I don't, the way I see it working is if the Bonza goes to Washington number 1, and they saying that they can't get a read when Wimby can't when Windhorse can't get a read of what they're gonna do because they're playing it close to the vest so tightly.
Uh-huh.
With them saying that, if they take the Bonza, I would not be surprised if you see a Kobe. You see somebody have him drafted and then they trade for him to get him out of Utah. Because right now, when you really think about it, if he didn't work out for Utah, and we've seen this too many times with players in other sports and everything else, when they really don't want to go to your team, they really don't want to go to your team. And it was a player I thought that was in Utah last year that did that same thing. When they was like, nah, I don't want to work out for them and everything else. He ended up playing for them, but it's like going through the string. And it's like, what? You can't keep on just drafting people and forcing them to come play for your team, because that's not the type of attitude and energy you want around your team. And you got a whole bunch of people that's like, you want to be here? I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be here. And it starts feeling like it's major league. And it's the damn Cleveland Indians before Wild Thing hit there. But because it's bad, and it's like you don't. Part of me is like, will he even make it? If he doesn't get drafted second, he can't get mad at anybody but himself. Because at the end of the day, you forced your hand. Because right now, if you're looking at the draft and the draft board for right now, Washington, they're saying is supposed to take the Bonza. Utah is a toss-up. Do you send them to Memphis? Because Memphis number 3. Do they take him? Would I want Peterson around Moran? Exact same position. You would have to trade Moran. Uh-oh. What you see?
I'm figuring out what he was saying while you were talking about that part of it, I was trying to figure out what the bold statement is, and now I want your opinion of it.
Okay.
Apparently, he's never been shy to voice his opinion, but on Monday he made arguably his boldest declaration yet, claiming that this year's 2026 class could rival LeBron James's 2003 class, widely viewed as one of the greatest of all time. His direct quote allegedly was, I think at least 10 of us will probably still be playing, let's say 8 years down the road. I think that's how deep we are, but it could be more. I think it's gonna be probably one of the most talked about draft classes since LeBron James's.
He's not lying. I'm not. This draft class, when you really think about it, and think about the context of college basketball right now, right? Any of Michigan's seniors and graduates, do you hear them being talked about as lottery picks right now
Nope.
on a national championship team?
Nope.
You hearing about Boozer, Caleb coming out of North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
DeBonza, Peterson. You got the point guard from Arkansas. You got who else was it? Hold on, because I got trying to see where it is for it.
Ooh.
I'm looking at the mock draft just to get myself caught up with the people in there. You got Wagler, you got Acuff, you got Yax. You finally seeing Yaxel from Michigan around 10 or 11. Morris
Right.
Johnson, Steinbach, Nate Mint from I think he was from Tennessee. You have legitimate stars.
Okay.
Keaton Wagler from Illinois. You got stars that are in there. They're coming out of they're coming out there. The thing that made 2003's draft was you had Carmelo coming out of college right after winning the championship. You had LeBron coming straight to the league, and was
Dwayne
Wade in
Wade,
that draft class?
Chris Bosh.
Okay.
Um, I'm not sure why Boris Diaw, Kendrick Perkins, David West. Well, in terms of like longevity, I see why their names are coming up because
Yeah.
it said the class also featured Boris Diaw, Kendrick Perkins, David West, uh, Leandro Barbosa, uh,
Champion.
Mo Williams, Kyle
Yep.
Korver,
Yep.
and who all enjoyed long, successful careers. So this might be some we might want to play around with, just kind of like look at the draft classes and see how long the players played. Maybe that's something me and you can like work together on, like playing
Yeah.
around with that a little bit to give us some banter to to talk about, especially if things are like super duper slow. Um,
But
that's
he's not. But I like his confidence
uh-huh.
in there for it. But they, even with them saying that, he's not going. I don't think he's going to be the best player in that. He's going to be the best player out that draft. I really think Caleb Williams is going to develop into being the best player out of that draft.
To me, it depends on who he goes to.
If he goes to Chicago with Splitter as his coach, he'll be okay. And
Yeah.
that's where they got him going, is for the Chicago.
Okay. And now, do you think that if he were to somehow make his way down to Houston and he was around Olajuwon, do you think that that would be another good spot for him if he doesn't end up in Chicago?
Houston would have to trade up. Houston has no first round draft picks. Well, they don't
Gotcha.
have no lottery draft picks. And that Chicago's, he's the fourth. He could have, if he would not have gotten hurt, he would have been in that conversation with DeBonza and Peterson for #1 draft pick with
Uh-huh.
the numbers he was putting up. But with that injury, he couldn't really perform during the tournament. That's what made it to where it was kind of it kind of hurt his stock. But then he went out there into the combine, showed out. So
Yeah, and he's definitely a talented dude because like I remember when I was watching him, and I kind of made the fatal mistake of falling into like appearance, history, and I'm like, okay, what you doing over here in Carolina, bro? What are we doing? But then the more I watched them play, I'm like, okay, all right. So my Tar Heels ain't slipping. They okay, all right. My Tar Heels not slipping. You actually talented. I like what you bringing to the table. This wasn't a uh what's his name that ended up down in New Orleans that they used to play for Duke that everybody thought.
Zach not Zach Randolph. Um
No, Zach Randolph was an attitude having problem. He was he
what's
was an
his name?
attitude having monster. Um,
That's sad because I can't even remember his name.
right.
New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. Folks, not being funny when we say this. If we forgot your name and you was a star, that means you're not doing nothing in the league for real.
Zion.
Zion Williamson. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I remember when he was at Duke and people was looking at me like, oh, he look at him. You see what he got up there, and he was just dunking, and that was mostly what he was doing. That's mostly
Yeah.
all I saw, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna equate to the NBA. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You just hate on the young brother, and now I'm like,
No.
oh, okay, now what? Okay, he been in the league for years. Now what? Oh well, he been having the problems. He shouldn't have been messing with that girl. It's the girl fault. No,
It wasn't just one.
it's somebody else's fault. It's somebody else's fault. And Stephen A. need to quit hating on him, even though he pointing out stuff that was presented to
That needed to be
him.
said.
Right. Like Stephen A. need to quit hating on the black man and quit hating on that dude. Because apparently when you black, you can only talk about the good parts and you ignore the bad parts and the flaws that's actually holding the person back. That way, if you're not having no accountability for them, there's a good chance they're not having good accountability for themselves, and which means that as talented as he could be, he's not going to be champion. But let's not let details get in the way of a good time, right? um, and like I said, it's never about hate on anybody, but the one thing that really gets under my skin is when you should be a champion, even if you should only see a championship one time because of the team that you have around you, because of the coaching, because of the leadership from the organization as a whole. There are so many champions that should have at least seen a championship one time,
Oh yeah.
even if they got traded to a different team. You should have seen a championship one time, and you did not. Or you got there that one time and you didn't win. Allen Iverson should be a champion with a ring on with a ring and a trophy for Philly. He should be.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out that way. Some of it was roster, some of it was coaching, some of it, as we heard later, was the organization and what they supplied for the players or didn't supply for the players as it worked out. So, factor all this stuff in.
And that's why it's just like uh
Yeah.
That
So,
that 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 whole situation there. Mm-mm.
so I see. So, especially now that we done put some context on it, um, I mean, technically, right, he's not wrong. But here's the other part. Right now, you just talking potential.
Right.
You haven't been drafted yet, and the other people haven't been drafted yet. And one of the people that's supposed to be drafted, that's supposed to be pushing up your roster, is looking like he gonna be a hot bust, a hot bust coming fresh out the oven. We don't know what he gonna be because we don't know. He wasn't exactly cooking the way he was supposed to cook when he was in college. So how you gonna cook better on a level where you have less preparation and control, less preparation and control and ability to mold? Because as we know, when they get to the main roster, that attitude of, well, well, I'm a grown man. I do what I want. Okay, you do what you want, and 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna see many championships, and you probably ain't gonna let alone win or get there to lose. So you could go there with that roster of I'm running stuff, but how many people that have gone there and that wasn't a team situation where the team said we run this, and they mainly talking about on the court, not in
Yeah.
terms of working with the coach and players working with the coach working with the players, everybody putting it together in a pot, and it equaling the championship, that the talent of everybody involved, probably more the players than the coaches, but it depends on the roster construction and their level of talent that you see on the court. Simple.
Right.
So
It's gonna be. I want to see. I want to see
good
him a
luck to
couple
him.
of years.
He out of BYU. Good luck to him. Like I said, for the most part, although I could definitely see some challenges for him playing guys that are just as talented, if not a little bit more seasoned, being a problem for him, because that's
Mhm.
what ended up happening in college.
Yeah, because when he went up against Peterson ate him. So he's going to have to develop. It's not going to be something just real quick, and he's going to have and he's going to be right, but it's
All right.
not. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not going to be too quick.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Giannis real quick.
That mess.
So you were telling me earlier, um, who who are his current possible teams?
So right now, based off of what Shams said today, a deal is imminent. The top two teams right now are Miami and Boston. But
Ooh.
the problem that comes into play with that is you go to Miami for what you're asking for. Who's going to get you the ball?
Yeah,
Because Hero is a part of the trade package.
of course.
So that's one end of it. So let's be real. And I really didn't pay attention to Giannis's whole ploy because, like I told you, Giannis's best bet in order for him to get back to a championship would have been to go out west. There's
Player.
nowhere. I already told you. I said you go to Golden State and you
Okay.
already got a point guard and you already got a young nucleus there that you got to build around. The only person that the tradable asset would have been Draymond, especially if he
Um,
opts in.
I'm sorry. If I'm a team wanting to trade Giannis, oh,
It
you
would have
could,
been more. It would have been more. It might have been other teams. But I'm looking for a standpoint of right now. think about the two teams that he's saying right now that he can go to or that he wants to go to. If he goes to Miami, is Miami a contender to win a championship? No.
Not at face value, no.
No. And then let's call a spade a spade. And I'm glad that Windhorst said this today. The trade package to Boston would be Jaylen Brown for Giannis. So would Boston be a championship contender with Giannis instead of Jaylen Brown?
Oof. Ooh.
So,
now, with
you're
the
thinking
level
about
of coaching, with the level of coaching, not coaching, not sure what coaching is, but the level of coaching.
Nope. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because their coach got Coach of the Year because of what he got out of Jaylen Brown being the alpha without Jason Tatum and them chucking up threes all the time. That's their game. That's their strategy. You're taking Jaylen Brown out of that. You're banking on Jason Tatum. You're putting in Antetokounmpo, and you still having to fix the fact that your playing scheme is chucking up a whole bunch of threes. So does that work with Giannis?
Right. Obviously, they would have to switch that up a little bit.
Exactly.
So which I've told you, their optimum. They chucked up too many threes when they had people that just go inside 3-point line. Y'all can hit
and
jumpers.
That's the problem.
And
that's the problem with their makeup.
And if you get Giannis,
you got a slasher.
If you get Giannis, you have another slasher. The question is seeing that the people that you have there have the capability, just like with my Spurs. That thing made me mad about my Spurs. It's like, why is it that y'all start off the game shooting threes all the time when y'all got people that can take people off the dribble? The games that y'all won, that's what y'all ended up doing a lot during the game, but you can't start off that way.
And that's the difference between the San Antonio Spurs and the Boston Celtics. San Antonio had people that could take people off the dribble and drive. Boston does not.
They may not be able to take them off the dribble, but they can at least go.
No. That's what got them ran.
They could go in inside the 3-point line and hit jumpers.
Who? Because everybody else, White, Pritchard, all of them were 3-point shooters. They were banking on Jaylen and Tatum being able to. They was banking on basically on. They was hoping that Porzingis would have been healthy, and banking on Brown to drive and then kick out. The rest of them, no. That's what the rest of them was. The rest of them is done. So that's why it's going to be interesting if they trade for Giannis and they send Giannis to Boston for Jaylen Brown. You're basically getting an older Jaylen Brown with more knee issues. Make that make sense? And Windhorst was adamant this morning. He said, if they trade for Giannis, they're saying with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, we can't beat New York right now.
But they can't.
Right, but and that's a waving a white flag saying we got to do this move in order to compete with New York. And Jaylen Brown basically, now I'm starting to think that Jaylen Brown did all that because he knew he was pissed when he got out of that season and he led them. Jaylen Brown has a right to have a gripe. You were a NBA Finals MVP. You helped lead them to a championship. You basically was the alpha of that team last year that got to what, the number 2 seed in the East. Your coach got coach of the year, and the only thing everybody was talking about was Jason Tatum came back.
I see
And,
that part of it, but
and that's what I think that's what led to the reaction that he had. Because if you think about what he said in that stream right after the fact, he said this was the best team we ever had. And that was without Jason Tatum and him as the alpha.
right. But with y'all, when you won the championship, you're having a conversation where you're like, okay, y'all, we're sticking together. It's me and Tatum.
Right.
For you to come out and say that, you didn't expound on it like you did after Stephen A said what he said, and you got mad at Stephen A and basically clarified what you meant.
But at that point, but what do we say all the time? Most of the time, with anything, the first thing that comes out of a person's mouth is the truth.
But
They will always go
and it
back
was
after
the truth.
they get some type of somebody in their ear. Hey, you shouldn't have said that. Or after they have a moment to sit there and think about it, like, maybe I shouldn't have did it that way. Let me go try it back and try to fix it. No, keep the same energy.
But
If
the
that was
question
how you
is,
felt,
but the question is when he explained it, just because of the way it sounded, do we really know that that's not what he meant?
right? And that's why
And
I'm
that
like,
because you remember when we first talked about it, what was the first thing I said? I said I got questions.
yeah. And I think it exposed the bigger issue that they were having behind the scenes for the whole thing.
And
They're not
I think it's probably more his relationship with everybody that's making this making this a thing, because it's clear on the court that when he feels some type of way, oh, he gonna voice it. So
mm-hmm.
now if you're the head coach, if you're the front office and you're dealing with that and you don't want to be, okay.
It gets to a point now to where it's like, I think and the other part that they said was that it's no guarantee that he's going to Milwaukee if that trade happens. He might go somewhere else.
Yeah, because they do have that ability to do like a multi-team trade.
Yeah, but right now they're saying it's only Milwaukee. It's only Milwaukee and Boston heads up, and it's only Milwaukee and Miami heads up. But I don't see Giannis going anywhere and instantly becoming championship material with those choices that he has in front of him. I don't,
Right.
because there's too many holes. If Miami was a player, I can see if it was a team that was a player away. Miami's not a player away. And truth be told, Boston's not a player away. Because even if they had they had both of them and they both was healthy, would they have been able to go up against the Knicks on that run?
No,
No. So it's like, what do you do with
because
this?
you gotta.
You're about to go, and everybody has to also realize whoever trades for Giannis, you either are trading for Giannis as a 1 year rental and he's going to become a free agent, or you're trading for him with the thought process of you're going to resign him after multiple leg injuries and his style of play to a multi-year deal that's going to keep him tied and on your books for at least the next 4 years. So is it going to be worth tacking him on for 270 million for 4 years And he hasn't played a full season in how many years?
I think that's what's most important is where he lands and making sure that he doesn't, like him and Kyrie, wherever they go, if they leave where they're at, making sure that they don't feel like they got to put the team on their back because their body can't take it.
And
And
Boston, I wouldn't think that he would have to do that if he goes to Boston. But at the
which
same instance,
which could which could help because me and you have both talked about that new center for Boston. I like that dude.
yeah.
Now you put him over there, and then you can try to figure out a way to bring in some help so that Tatum doesn't feel like he has to go out and do too much so that he could stay on the court longer. And as we've talked about, doesn't have to necessarily be a one hitter quitter type person. One, because that's going to hurt you on the money end, which means you may not have them long anyway.
Right.
And then two, because when they get on the court, you don't want a bunch of people, a bunch of ball dominant people on one team. That's going to be the other reason why it doesn't work. So you got to be careful with it.
And that's
So,
why it's
so the pieces that need to come in, we know that we know that a lot of the teams that we done talked about today, if you notice, the one thing that they all seem to have in common, they need a credible point guard who you can trust to distribute the ball and put them
and
in the
nobody's
right
talking about it.
situations to where they are unstoppable at the way they play.
Yeah.
What was you about to say?
Everybody, but none of these teams that we talking about, the only
Yeah,
one that has a point guard right now is
yeah,
Miami.
yeah. And he's
And
probably
he's about to get
going
traded.
right.
So it's like, what do you I don't I don't know.
You
This is
cut
the
your nose to
silly
spite your
season.
face.
This
Right.
is the silly season for it,
Yeah.
but it's crazy.
All right. Now let me see why
While you're
Pel-
doing that, quick shout outs to Antonio Freeman. What that whole comedy uh of him talking about his phone overheated because his son scored the goal for the US on Friday during the US soccer match in Seattle against Australia. Finding out that was the great Antonio Freeman from the Green Bay Packers Dave's son out there playing soccer for the country was a good thing to find out about that.
yeah.
And secondly, congratulations to Cincinnati's own Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford for winning the tag team championships today in WWE. They beat the Vision. It came on early today, and I didn't notice it until I just seen it come across my feed, and with the help of the visionary, the revolutionary, Street Profits got their belts back. So congratulations to them on that one.
So Montez. Now. I'm not gonna totally like get him, but I'm gonna have to get him. I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna be looking for something specific. Now, obviously, Seth has garnered the reputation, and even he knows everything that he's done. Karma surely came back to bite him. And Montez did have a reason to not trust him, but the one thing that everybody seems to forget about Seth is when he does what he does, and it comes back to bite him in the butt. If he comes to you for help, it's real and he's not going to undercut you. Look at the
Oh,
history. Look at
yeah.
the history of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
When
Steph is
he
always going to be about Steph, no
he
matter what
screwed
it
the
is.
Shield,
Oh, don't
and
remind me.
then right, he screwed the Shield, and then when it came down to it, when he needed others' help, when he was the good guy, they ended up being a good, decent team. He became he went heel again, and then became a part of the Authority with Triple H and Steph. And then when that didn't work out, and they finally got tired of putting up with his antics, and they turned on him. When he decided he was going to go against them, take them down, whoever team with him, he had their back. So yeah, it's okay to hold Seth accountable, but now that y'all got the tag team championships, um, uh, it's okay to look at Seth like, thank you for proving me wrong. And
True.
it's like they just go, thank you for proving me wrong, because I thought for sure that you was gonna do something. My bad for coming at you the way I did, but you know what you do. You know what you do, how you do when you do. That 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 uh that that one song by Jermaine Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Uh how to go, why don't you do what you do when you did what you did? Dude, that's a nice little flashback, and I'm aging the hell out of myself. Because my mom actually had that album. She played it a lot. But
Ooh, yeah. You after you get done with this, you need to
yeah.
go back and go watch um today's Raw.
Oh, yeah, I am, because I forgot that they're still overseas and that it came on earlier. So
Um,
yeah, that's fine. Um, Now Darren Woodson blasts Micah Parsons' preseason behavior as reason for Dallas trading him to the Packers. This got pushed out 2 days ago. Michael Parsons did not have a good 2025 season. The franchise finished
yeah, definitely. Huh. Keep going, because I got some time in off of
it,
that one.
it said they were um so we talked about this, that whole situation. Let's see here. What else does it say? The off season is currently ongoing, with players either enjoying this time to relax or prepare themselves for next season. Parsons has recently been criticized for his previous behavior. Um, Before playing for the Packers, Parsons spent 4 seasons with Dallas. The two parties had a messy breakup, which led to him going to the Packers after the 2024 season. His chaotic departure still fresh for the many Cowboys fans, including legend Darren Woodson. Woodson played as a safety for the Cowboys from 92 to 2003, won 3 Super Bowls with them. He recently spoke on the Doing All Right podcast, where he subtly criticized Parsons for his preseason behavior for the franchise. He did not directly call out his name, but it was clear who he was talking about, as he described what the defensive end specifically did before his departure. He said, I think they held on to guys way too long. And when you hold on to those viruses, man, it just continues to compound through the organization. And then you have a culture that's just loose. Guys are falling asleep during pregame. It's just ridiculous. Or out in the stadium, actually in the stadium, laying down on. Oh yeah, he was definitely talking. He was definitely talking about Parsons.
But
Um,
here's mm,
Parsons has not yet responded or acknowledged the indirect criticism levied at him. The incident that Woodson was referring was to one of the reasons behind the departure of Parsons from the Cowboys. Oh, look, let's be honest. And this is one of the issues that Jerry has had since the championship years. It is what part of what Darren said was true. He has put up with a lot of personality flaws that at the end of the day didn't help the team. It's one thing when you put up with Michael Irvin, him and Alvin Harper and Novacek and Moose and Emmett and Aikman. They gave you championships.
Right.
Everybody knew Irvin was the diva of the team. But he was getting you championships. He was cooking people on the field, and he was getting you championships.
But it's not.
And
I don't.
When you're putting up with that, and you're not getting there, you're not even getting a sniff. When they turn around and you on ESPN and they're showing that as good as you are, you can get lost when teams run straight at you. So that's what teams start doing when that's what teams with the better offensive line start doing to you. And you start playing the tougher teams, and that's why y'all end up not going that far in the playoffs. And it's known for years that that's what you do. But you turn around and you have that bravado. And we talked about it.
But see, here's the
statistically, what's up?
Here's the thing about that. You heard about the news that came out this weekend, didn't you?
No.
He's not going to be ready to play until week 8 at the earliest. He's not been now. Remember, he hurt that Achilles. No, that ACL wasn't that before the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
So normal ACL recovery is normally what now? 4 to 6 months. If they're saying week 8, he's going to be out almost 10. And there's been no reasons given. It just so happened that it came out and his brother confirmed it. So if
December 14th, 2025.
So week 8 would put them at almost the end of October. So that's 10 months. You got 10 months on the shelf for an ACL tear. When we didn't see players come back within the season from Achilles or ACL tears. So make that make sense. Why it's taking you 10 months to heal? You don't. You have to make some type of clarity or understanding for that when it comes down to that. So I don't know. That right there is going to be very, very interesting to see how that plays out in the end, because he cannot continue to if those antics that Darren is mentioning about what happened with Dallas is what led to him getting traded to Green Bay because of those antics that's there. Now they're starting to rear their head with his recovery.
All right, so this is from Copilot Search. Most athletes return to full sports participation between 9 and 12 months after ACL tear, with early returns increasing the risk of re-injury. 0 to 2 weeks focuses on controlling the pain and swelling, protecting the knee, maintaining basic mobility. Ice compression, elevation, rest are essential, along with crutches if needed. 2 to 6, gradual restoration of range of motion, gentle strengthening, and neuromuscular training. Daily activities may resume within 6 to 8 weeks post surgery, but high impact sports are avoided. Intermediate phase, 3 to 5 months.
But
Athletes begin jogging, alternating with walking, and progressively increase intensity, strength, balance, coordination exercises are emphasized to rebuild lower body function. 6 to 9 months. Sports specific drills, including cutting, pivoting, single leg jumping, are introduced. Functional testing assures symmetry and strength between legs, which is critical to reduce re-injury risk. Return to sport phase, 9 to 12 months. Clearance for full competition occurs only after passing strength, functional, psychological readiness assessments. Athletes who return before 9 months are significantly more likely to experience re-injury.
now, what they don't say about that is that what was one of his biggest claim to fame? His freakish workout regimen that they used to compare to Aaron Donald
Mm-hmm.
and some of the others that's
Mhm.
in there that take care of their bodies and take care of their rehab, and they attack their rehab for that. Something doesn't smell right to me.
How old is he?
I want to say
And
26, 27.
and the reason why I asked that is because there's another part to that I didn't read. Um, Born in
27.
1999. Yeah, he's 27. So there was part of
Hey, he's born 3 days before me.
um
That's scary.
right.
Oh yeah, he ain't got them all.
So the reason, because co-pilot search
Uh-huh.
also put in a part that says factors affecting recovery. Types of ACL tears, partial tears may heal in 3 to 6 months with physical therapy, while complete tears often require surgery. Surgical graft type, patellar tendon grafts may allow slightly faster return, but can cause more initial pain. Hamstring grafts may take longer to regain full strength. Age and fitness level. Younger and fitter athletes may recover faster, but face higher re injury risk if returning too early. Adherence to rehabilitation. Consistent, structured rehab is crucial to regaining strength, balance, and confidence. Psychological readiness. Confidence in the knee is essential. Fear of re injury can delay safe return. um because of the questions that you asked, I felt that reading that part was pivotal to possibly answering some of those questions, and some of those putting some possible answers to, like what shape is he in.
Yeah, because
It
but
is
that's
is
what
is he down with doing a structured, is he being consistent
it
in
has to be.
in his structured rehab, and stuff like that, or is he just doing it at his leisure when he feels like it, or when he feels confident in it? Is it partially a psychological issue? So many questions that unfortunately we don't have Mr. Parsons in front of us to fairly answer. And but that's why people tend to go by, well, what's their normal attitude? What are they a head case? This is why I pay attention to a lot of that stuff, because a head case, A head case will do whatever they want, however they want, and God help you if you question them doing so. Um, uh, whether that head case is a TO or whether the head case is a Dantage. Yeah, that's right. I said what I said.
It's I just don't I hope that Green Bay didn't get duped, and
They might have.
they might have. They might have.
It,
Because for him to tear that ACL and then turn around and then do that, that's gonna be interesting in its own right.
but technically, long term, he still falls within the recovery time.
True.
So is if he's supposed to be back in 10 months, and they say that a normal is somewhere between 9 and 12, hopefully this is just him just taking the long road to make sure that when he comes back that he's going to be ready, because ain't no point in coming back early if you just going to end up back
Back hurt. There
right.
ain't none.
That's not going to help Green Bay's defense. But I will say this, in terms of accountability and setting a standard, to me, part of what hurt Green Bay was they leaned on him and what he could do so much that when they lost him, they were the equivalent of UC every time they lost a good player.
True.
Team just went
Very true.
team just went to crap. Like all it took was one player getting hurt. And the
One
season,
player goes down and the whole team just says, screw this, I don't want to play anymore. They hurt. That's who our
but
whole season was banked off of.
right. So and I used to hate that. I'm
But
like,
it's the
why?
reality of it.
Yeah, and that's the problem when the coaches and the players you depend on one person on the entire team.
It never fails that they do that. And it's just like,
Yeah. So bottom line, good luck to him. I see Darren's point, and I'm
I
glad
do too.
that he I'm glad that he got out of his personal troubles that he was having back a few years ago, because I thought that might have been the last that we would have seen of him.
It should have been.
Right. But luckily he hopefully he got everything right, and he's completely good now, talking about Mr. Woodson. So so yeah, with that, we are going to move on. Michael Bisping is under fire for heated comments about Alex Pereira. This
What was
was
he?
posted by Newsweek, Michael Gallagher, 21 hours ago. So in 5 days since UFC,
Freedom 250, the
yeah, he
greatest spectacle,
lost.
the greatest spectacle in UFC history. I had it in the White House. It was excellent. Stupendous. We pulled it off. Now I got a
Oh
big
my
old
God.
messed up front yard
Right,
to match my messed up reflecting pool.
right.
But
So it says in 5 days since his loss to Cyril Gane, which congratulations to Cyril, because usually when
no,
he
ain't no congratulations, Cyril. Nope. Nope.
why?
Did you watch it?
Unfortunately, I did not.
They need to do a rematch. And that's a part of the backlash that came out of there was that there were punches, and Pereira's been very vocal
Oh,
since then, where he
yeah.
got punched at the base of his skull from behind. And that's what caused him to lose his equilibrium in order for him to get knocked out.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that Gagne would have won, but we've seen this song and dance before, and we saw
but
Pereira take Gagne out.
but here's the problem. And I want you, and I'm gonna describe a scenario to you, and I want you to tell me if this is what happened. When he was throwing said punches, was Pereira face down on the mat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the problem. Perfect. I figured that's what it was. Here's the problem. And this has been a problem since before they started televising UFC, right? You can't hit to the back of the head.
Right.
But here's where the maneuver comes in. You got the fighter down. You want to keep him down. But he knows that if you hit him in the back of the head, he gonna get told, the whoever's throwing the punches is gonna get told, stop hitting to the back of the head, right? So what does the fighter that's face down do? On top of trying to guard himself with his arms and or forearms, he's turning his head in the direction that the punches are coming from.
Right.
Now, if you are doing that, because he's not the first person to have this argument. And that's what made me think of it. Now, you can have this argument, but if I were to be able to go back and watch that fight and I see you turning your head in the direction that his punches are coming from, I'm sorry. That's not completely on him. That's on you. You put the back of your head in the way. Because you was trying to get him in trouble to get the ref to stand him up, and he trying to throw punches to make sure that the ref don't stand you up. So he trying to avoid, and then he hit you in the side of the head, and then you go, oh crap, he throwing punches from that way. So he turned back his head that way, and then when he go, okay, now I'm gonna come with my left. Oh, now he coming back with the left, and oh man, he coming with both of them. So now he just keeps swinging his head like this. I've seen it happen so many times. No. No. There comes a point where it's like, you know what? You knew what you was doing. You tried a strategy. The ref can only be so responsible. The ref is doing his job. He's telling him to stop hitting you to the back of the head, but it don't help. It's not like the ref can control your head, because you intentionally putting the back of your head in harm's way. But then when you lose because the ref don't stand you up, you go, oh well, no, I got cheated. To an extent, you did, but you were part of the reason why you got yourself cheated.
It's to a point now to where realistically, UFC is going to have to find their next big draw very, very quickly.
Yeah, because Cyril
or it's going to start feeling like it did in the late 90s, early 2000s, before everybody from Strike Force and everything started coming over.
Yeah, because
they
eventually had to have the hot ones from Strike Force come over and fight the hot ones that were in the UFC on the non-heavyweight, because the basically the UFC became like boxing. The most exciting weight classes were not the heavyweight class.
Right. And to be fair, has that really changed lately?
And that was probably the dumbest, biggest boneheaded thing about John Jones constantly being in trouble, because it gave a level of excitement between light heavyweight and then when he moved up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
But then he would get in trouble outside the octagon, and then he'd be gone for a while.
But even with that being said, the welterweight division is what kept them afloat. From Silva to Franklin to
welterweight, middleweight, yeah.
Welterweight, middleweight. That even all the way through to when you got to Usman and Adesanya and everybody in there. That's what kept it afloat.
Yeah, the light heavyweight. Yeah, the light heavyweights fell off after Iceman and Randy Couture retired. Yeah.
Retired, yeah. Because realistically, who did you have? You had Cormier, and then Cormier couldn't get past Jones. And
which
it was a tap dance around that whole thing. So it was just
I
like,
I gained so I had no respect for that dude.
for
You
who?
sitting
For
up here,
Cormier?
yeah, for the
Oh,
longest time. I've gotten over that, but I because here was my thing. You can talk all the smack you want about somebody's personal shortcomings, but at the end of the day, you got to get in there and fight.
mm-hmm.
And almost only counts in horseshoes.
And he got dropped every single time he tried to do it. That's why it's like,
You got beat every single time. It doesn't matter how well one of them was close. Again, almost only counts in horseshoes. Y'all ain't playing horseshoes. You're in an octagon in a fight. And yes, I know how talented Daniel Cormier was. That man was a problem. Unless he was going up against John Jones. Anybody else? Better have your popcorn, your Wheaties, your
everything ready.
Gatorade, your vitamins, and saying your prayers and your and doing your stretches. You better do it all because then Daniel Cormier gonna get you. He gonna
But
bring it.
it doesn't, and that's why I'm saying, like, right now, watching that and trying to find things, it seems like they're hanging on to people that are on the back end of their careers, and I'm not seeing too much development from the lower runs into stars.
Do you think that part of that is because they're spreading themselves too thin trying to do mixed martial arts and boxing?
No, I think it's just I think that it comes down to the simple fact of your quality of your fighters is
Yeah.
starting to dwindle. You're not because you're not right now. Realistically, you had waves of groups that took it over. You had the whole um you had the whole Russian crew when you had uh when you had Habib and everybody
Yeah.
else and their whole crew that was in there for it. Now you starting to see them take their L's. Right before then was the whole Nigerian crew until Ngannou left, and then Adesanya and Usman wanted to be stars instead of be fighters, and they took their eye off the ball and they've never recovered. So it's not. They always they had somebody that had picked up the ball and ran with it. There's nobody. Pereira was that person, but Pereira, when you really think about it, over his last 6 fights, I think it's win loss win loss win loss. It's a rarity that he didn't won back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Since he beat Adesanya, now that I think about it, looking it up now.
And
Alex,
that
yeah, because let's see here. He lost by TKO. That was this year. Last year, he 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 beat he beat Ankalev, but
mm-hmm,
before that, but he lost a decision to him in March that year for the light heavyweight. So
mm-hmm.
he lost one loss. 2024, he beat that was when he went on his run in 24. 24, he fought 3 fights. He beat Hill, beat Proshaka, and then he beat Roundtree, and he KO'd all of them.
Hey, wait a minute. You sure that Michigan picked their coach already?
Yeah, they said that they were moving towards the last update that I got off that one was where you at, Shams? They said that they were moving towards Bob, what are you seeing?
I just saw a Sports Illustrated story that aired that supposedly was posted 9 hours ago, talking about 6 candidates for the
No, they had candidates that popped up, but then they turned around and then they said that they were pivoting to where let's see here. ESPN, Michigan's coach Dusty May is finalizing a deal to take the Dallas Mavericks head coaching job. Sources told ESPN, an axis shifting move that significantly alters the college and NBA landscapes. May 49 led Michigan basketball to a national championship in 2026. He'll coach a franchise with Cooper Flag as his linchpin player. The Mavericks fired Jason Kidd after a 26-56 season last year. May led Michigan to a 64-13 record over 2 seasons in Ann Arbor. In his previous job, he led Florida Atlantic to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, including the 2023 Final Four. He had ruled out other college job offers this season, but the NBA has been very intriguing to May. He'll be the first college head coach to take an NBA job since former Michigan coach John Beilein took the Cleveland Cavaliers job in 2019. The last to leave college immediately after winning the title was Kansas's Larry Brown in 1988. Billy Donovan was the least. May's departure means that Michigan players can explore their future options, as under NCAA rules, a 15-day transfer window will open 5 days after a new head coach is hired or publicly announced. Michigan is working towards hiring current assistant coach Mike Boynton Jr. as interim coach, per sources.
okay.
Boynton brings head coaching experience from Oklahoma State and will attempt to keep a talented roster in place. That roster includes Final Four's most outstanding player, Elliot Cadeau, talented rising sophomore Trey McKinney, and new crop of talented transfers that include JP Estrella, Mustafa Diom, and Jalen Reed. Diom is the one that came from UC.
I'm so proud of that dude. That dude could dope. He proved me wrong. He proved me
He proved
wrong.
a lot of people wrong.
He proved what I saw in North Carolina was an anomaly, and I'm still proud of him. I'm gonna try to see if I could if I could find him a jersey here soon, and I'm trying to get my finances back together, and I'm gonna get me a Cadeau jersey, and matter of fact, I might get it, even though I wasn't that happy with him in Carolina. I'll get one for Carolina and Michigan. And it's
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm proud of that dude. He's what we as humans are supposed to do with situations like that. Is even if we're in a situation where people may see us a certain way, we take a new journey and we work on things and we make it look different and show what we're really capable of. And he got to show that, hey, I am good. I am a champion. All right. So, okay. Uh do you think that all 32 stadiums should be grass?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. So that means that you agree with former head coach Jason Garrett.
Yeah. It does
And
not.
yeah, he said that all 32 stadiums, he's like, if you're asking me as a former player and a coach, I'd like to have grass in 32 stadiums. There's no question about that. Garrett had previously played as a backup quarterback in the NFL from 1989 to 2004, having played several years with the Cowboys from 92 to 99. And let's see here on the show, Garrett acknowledged that the business realities, other structural challenges that come with changing the surface of the stadium to grass, citing the Cowboys $1 billion playpen as an example. There's a business part of this, as we all know. They use AT&T Stadium for a ton of things. And having grass complicates that.
But see, here's the problem. Here's my biggest problem with that. You have a whole bunch of stadiums now and you see it. The crazy part about it is that we're doing with all this stuff right now, from doing from everything that's going on with the World Cup being here, right?
Right.
We go over and play football over in these stadiums, and have you seen some of the elaborate setups they have underneath these stadiums, to where, like, after the game is over, they actually can lower the trays for the field down. They have lights that's built in under the stadium that grow the grass to a perfect height. It has a hydration system all through there, to where they have almost the perfect setup of grass for each one of their soccer games. And we're supposed to be one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. But we can't figure out how to do that in our stadiums. We got who was it?
Not without it costing.
It don't matter, because who normally pays the cost? They normally roll it out to the taxpayers. So think about it. Arizona with State Farm. What did they say? I forgot what other stadium it was, where they sat there. They said, I think in Allegiant Stadium, they do the same thing. They literally have the grass growing for the field outside of the field. And what they'll do is that they'll take up the field in the stadium, and then they will roll a new set of grass and sod into the stadium. They have an opening where they just roll it right in like it's a carpet. And it's still natural grass. It's growing outside. It's going through the normal phases for it. They're cutting and they're regulating it, and it's in there for it. There should be no NFL stadiums that's playing on some type of synthetic turf. None whatsoever. Especially in the case of, if you are working in a dome stadium with it, that means you should have a good system in there for you to grow it. You can control the temperature. So it doesn't make it. The one thing that's crazy, looking at the soccer, all the stuff that they did to acquiesce to the World Cup being here, changing stadium names. You're seeing all the gimmicks to cover up the logos for the stadiums and everything else when they're doing that. All this stuff that you see going on, and at the same instance, a lot of those stadiums that you go over in Spain, you go over in England, you go over the stadiums that the NFL plays in when they're doing their international games. Most of those stadiums are more technologically advanced than most of our stadiums we have here. And they use it for soccer.
Fans, the fans willing to throw out that money, and willing to deal with what comes, as long as they team is kicking up dust and spanking booty, and entertaining them.
But it just doesn't, when you think about it, really, it doesn't make. I'm trying, because here's the thing. The Bengals stadium, I think it is grass, but they roll it out. It's sod that they place, and then they put together. Because when they have the concerts, that's what I was talking to some people about. When we have the music festival here, why does the music festival date always fluctuate throughout the year? And it's because they have to have the festival at least 2 weeks before the Bengals start their training camp. Because that way they'll have time to put the sod back down, get everything situated, and have it ready to go for them to practice and play on. And it's crazy, because when you go down there, if you look at it during the festival, and you look down at the field, they have the field completely covered up with all the planks that they have in there for it. But when you get down there, you realize the grass is not underneath there. It's just a straight ground that's underneath that field. So whatever they're rolling out, you're thinking about this. You got people that are out there playing and getting thrown around and slammed down on possibly concrete, rubber pellets, and maybe about 1.5 to 2 inches of sod than the grass growing up. That's it. And you wonder why some injuries happen. They had a rodeo up at Welcome Stadium this past weekend up in Dayton. I can't stand that stadium. And I know they've remodeled it. Why? Because back in the 90s, when everything was happening at that stadium for high school football and UD football during that time frame, it was like playing football on carpet. And I mean indoor carpet on top of concrete floor. You had no cushion, and you playing in cleats. If it was raining, you had to play in cleats because it becomes slippery. But if it was, and that it made it even worse because if your foot caught and you went the wrong way, there goes your ACL, MCL, and we did not have modern technology.
So your career was over.
Your career, it wasn't over, but where we was just talking about with Parsons saying 9 to 12 months, it was 12 to 18.
Gotcha.
Oh boy.
All right. So, all right, one more thing happened, and this is why I like to be careful with some of the stories that I find. And I'm glad that most of the ones that I find that end up being false, I'm glad that I post them like in the group so that you can tell me, yeah, this is BS. So apparently a Florencia Pena had to resign from Luzo TV after falsely reporting that Lionel Messi's father had died during Argentina's World Cup campaign. They had just won against Algeria.
The first game. Yep, the first game. And they had been rumblings about it.
Yeah. And so
check your sources.
Yeah. And as far as she knew, it was legit because the production team told her it was legit.
But
and
so everybody should have got fired then.
Oh yeah. Luzo TV said everybody's head was gonna roll.
They needed to.
It said in the article, and then it said that that they should not have made that public, and especially not during the game. I mean, for God's sake, they just won. Why are you bringing that up?
They said that he was emotional before the game, and people were saying that it was a lot that was going on. But the question that I had was that was there any rumblings from MLS while this was going on? Because I didn't hear anything about his dad being sick throughout the entire MLS season. So if it's been going on for a while and his league that he's playing in hasn't said anything, everybody else needs to shut the fuck up.
Right. And it's like,
but because
it's during the game. I mean, the game just ended. They just won. This is a happy moment. This is the equivalent of
hey, Messi, how do you feel about your father passing away?
The equivalent to me, this is the equivalent of Malika Andrews. The draft comes and she bringing up somebody getting in trouble for something. Like, wait, what? He just got drafted. What are we doing?
And it's never fails because it's not people. We have so many people that want the viral moment. They want that moment to where that shock and awe look where people is looking around, or they try to catch people off guard. Why would you need that? Just report what needs to be reported and move on. It doesn't need to be some type of clippable moment for you saying something.
The only time I condone bringing that kind of stuff up is in the context. Context is always important, which she never brought it up in context. She brought it up in just bringing it up. And I'll tell you
Malika Andrews will be in the middle of a conversation, and then all of a sudden she'll have that squirrel moment. Yeah, so you just dropped 45 in there, but what about this over here?
Yeah. Now, if like some of the reporters, I can respect it. If they got drafted and you're talking about why their draft stock dropped. If
You're
that,
taking away from the happy moment of them
if,
being
if,
able to say that they got drafted into the league, and I want to
right.
thank my mom and my dad. But how about your draft? Not how about you? They had you pegged to be a top 10 pick, and you're you're number 25.
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like you know how Mel Kiper and them they'll be sitting there around and they'll be talking about how talented they are, and then like I said, it'll come up. They start talking about why it dropped, and then they'll start naming off some things. Now, if you do that on that context, okay,
Oh
it it
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it, it correlates.
If you
But
give
like
a
I said,
reason
we're
why,
don't be sitting up here doing this. Well, he just got drafted, but you know he did this and blah 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 blah. What? No,
and it hadn't been released beforehand, and you
and
just
either it hadn't been released or like or like when Adrian the former Michigan State dude died,
yeah.
and she brought up something he got in trouble for. It's like what are you doing?
Why does it have to be something negative in a positive or a remembrance
I
setting
mean,
that
I
you
mean,
want to bring up?
we already got a negative going on because he died. It just what?
She don't care. That's why it's hard. I wonder how their ratings are on that show with her as the lead. Because they can't be too good.
Where's she the
They
lead at?
might be for NBA today.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, she's been the lead for NBA today since what's the card left?
oh. Well, was that shows you that I don't watch it. That's how come I didn't know. I'm like, she's leading something.
Yeah, she's the lead. She's the head person on NBA today. The revolving door that they have of people that's up there with them. She is the face of that show. She's been the face of that show for almost 4 years now. She even got her sister on. I think her sister got on and left.
So,
Which
so yeah, just stuff like that. Yeah, you have to be careful. That's why if you notice like a lot of mine, well, this one didn't come off of a credible one that I'd heard of before. I don't know what HITC is, but apparently I'm following them. So they must have posted something else that I clamped onto and decided to follow them. But anyway, it's unfortunate that it happened. But um, wait,
what you say?
Dana Dana gets trolled by Ronda Rousey and Jake Paul after UFC Freedom
Oh God,
drew
two
two
more
million
irrelevant
less
people.
2 million less viewers than than the Netflix MMA event.
But Jake Paul, here's the thing: it's Paramount Plus, which you got to direct people to, and two, it
People
was
ain't messing if you know how solid people ain't messing with Trump. So
right.
so that has to factor in.
It
Now,
has to, but they don't want to look at that. They want to stay up there and say, "Oh, yeah, we got it in there over there." Man, Jake Paul's worst fear came to light when his brother messed up his arm and he can't piggyback off of WWE too.
yeah, he doing what he can. He's showing up to work. He just can't participate much. Um,
I think he didn't found his niche and he happy. And if that's the case, then cool.
oh Lord. Uh, I don't know how true this is, so I'm gonna say everything allegedly.
Oh God.
Um, Baller alert. I don't know what media that is. I've never heard of it. Allegedly, meaning I don't know for sure that this actually happened. Um, NFL quarterback Geno Smith allegedly found himself at the center of Father's Day drama after his girlfriend, Chris, allegedly took to social media with serious allegations and a series of heated posts aimed at. Oh, so this is old because he's not a Raider anymore.
Oh God,
Um,
yeah, that's old.
yeah, yeah. Apparently, it was a something on Father's
He
Day where
probably
he
left her and left the team.
um apparently he supposedly assaulted her and neglected
Oh
his
God, yeah, yeah, that's
special
old.
needs
Because
son.
he would have
Yeah,
been, he wouldn't have been able to be in the league right now. He would be under suspension protocol by now.
yeah. So uh, you know what this you know what seeing stuff like this does? Like whether this was current or whether this was old. You know what seeing stuff like this does? Sadly enough, it makes me feel like sad with myself that when it comes to the mother of my two younger boys, that I wasn't in a better place so that that could have worked out. Because as petty as she was, a lot of this stuff I see the brothers going through. I, I, I look back and I go, you know what? I mean, she was bad. I mean, well, she wasn't that bad. Should have, should have figured. I should have got my shot.
Ah,
I
don't
should have
touch
got.
that.
I know, right? I should have got my side of things. I should have been better on my side of things. I can't control her side. I know we was both a lot of the stuff we did to each other, we was both reactionary. And maybe if I had done a lot less stuff to make her react to, then maybe she would have done a lot of stuff to make me react to. It just I try to do better with my accountability.
Yeah,
That
I
way I
understand.
could that way when I go into my next situation, you know, if it ever comes, which I know I got to put myself out there in order for it to come. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I see a lot of these stories and I just look and go, yeah, I don't have to go through none of that. It's like, my God, that woman, she's awesome. Shout out to Sarah. You know, she's happily married now, but well, actually, I don't know if happily is the word. I know she's married. I don't know the whether it's happy or sad or whatever, but she's
You're
still
on
married, so it
a
must be good.
national show.
I know, right? I know, right?
Stop shooting your shot during the show.
No, 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 no. We are not doing that, but no, but so hopefully that reporter is able to rebound because that was an unfortunate situation. She apologized for it. She
She'll be all
she
right. She'll
she
bounce
apo-
back.
she apologized for it, but she did kind of put it out there like, look, the only reason I reported it was because the production team told me, they assured me it was legit, but at the same time, I still have to
You
take some
should have checked.
responsibility. I still take responsibility because I did do it. I will
You
give her
should have
that.
checked. You should have
So,
checked. That is a quintessential. You should have checked your sources and verified before you said it. You never, especially in this day and age where this man is now the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history, you don't say anything that might be hearsay or anything else unless you have verified sources.
what?
Just because somebody just sit there and says, "Hey, her dad died."
Right.
Okay, let's run with it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But who would that be?
What?
So, oh, oh. So Avery Johnson, you remember Avery?
Yeah, old Spurs coach.
Yeah. Spurs, Mavs, yeah. Um, Apparently on CBS Sports, he said, if possible, that the Mavericks should make a deal with the Nets, for example, and see if they can get a little higher. Because he allegedly thinks that Darius Acuff Jr. could be the next Jalen Brunson.
Well, do you know Dallas is already about to be allergic to that anyway? You had Jalen Brunson. He wanted to stay there. You
Yeah.
said no. We have Luca. You can go. And 5 years later, he sits up there and gives you a big middle finger on in front of New York's City Hall, saying, "Hey, when people doubt you, you ain't gotta say nothing. You just gotta prove them wrong." And that was a shot. That was a veil shot across the everybody just and let it go.
Yeah. That's that moment. Like I said with Keenan McCardell, when him and Joe Vicious, because Joe Vicious was with the Giants gave up on him. The
Mhm.
um the Jaguars said that Kingdom Cardell was getting too old, so they sent him to the Bucks, and then he got over there with Joe Jaravicious, and then next thing you know, they got John Gruden, who was a
The
former
Raiders.
Raiders coach, and since they don't didn't since the Raiders don't change their playbook, hello championship. And
Yep.
and I said after that, I said the first thing Keenan should have did was sat down and wrote the Jaguars a letter. I appreciate you thinking that I'm too old,
Yeah.
and just send a picture,
Of
just
him
send it,
holding the championship with a
hold the
cigar.
championship with his Super Bowl ring. Like I just being old never felt so good.
Mm-mm.
Like being old never felt so good. I thank you.
Oh man. And being old gets me to the point to where it's almost time for me to go to bed.
Right. Right. So, I'm trying to get some of my youth back. I done got it to where I'm running
Can't get
like
it back. You can't get it back. You just
you
gotta
can
get
get
it
some of it back.
where you can tolerate more. You
Yeah,
can't get it. I'm realizing that every time
because
I'm down, something pops. It's not even.
I thought my knees were gonna be shot, but the more I consistently get out, run and stretch and keep, now it's like I still hear the popping, but it don't feel like something about to come apart. So so it's like so I'm like, okay, as opposed to when I wasn't running as much because I was staying so busy, I was ripping and running everywhere, so I wasn't really doing any form of exercising. I was hearing pops, I was feeling stuff, and stuff was feeling kind of like it might turn into a real bad pain, and I'm like, oh God. It's like I can't be, I'm single, I can't be falling apart. So plus when it's hot like it is, when you run out in it, it don't hit you like it hit everybody else.
Oh no,
It's
nah.
like because your body, like you said, your body adjusts to it, and it's been a while since my body had adjusted to the heat. Even at work today, everybody around me is like, "Man, it's so humid, it's so hot," and I'm just sitting there like I felt it, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it the way they did.
Nah, shoot, I feel it every time I get out. That's why I'm like, yeah, yeah, it is
All
what it is now. I don't need to be out
right.
no more.
All right. Is there anything else credible that I see? Oh, wait, did we talk about that whole the one article? It said the worst NFL teams ranked after June moves? I don't think we did.
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay, we'll end on that one. We'll end on that one because I know you got things to do, even if you don't have the usual things to do where you have to cut out. Uh so article. Ugh, ugh. Never really heard of these people. I- I'll bet either AI bat or Albat, Albat. Francisco, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not gonna try. I'm
don't risk it.
sorry. Right. So let's see here. Oh, this is a real. Okay. So the Commanders face rising expectations. The the Washington Commanders enter 2026 in a far different position than they occupied just 2 years ago after reaching the NFC Championship in 2024. Expectations have skyrocketed around Jaden Daniels and a roster that continues to add new pieces. While talent is not the issue, integrity, fresh personnel, and maintaining offensive continuity could prove difficult as the season unfolds. Of course, because the question is how many of those people that they picked up are older and their bodies aren't able to hold up. So that's going to be the question going in for not only them but anybody else. Because even with the Broncos, for example, they picked up a lot of players from San Francisco, which they're good players when you can keep them on the
True.
field. And
True.
the Giants was the next one on the video clip reel, talking about the New York Giants are entering a new era. Are they? Because if everybody, which that story that came out about Harbaugh and the fact that players are dropping like flies, if it was mainly happening to the Giants, you have an argument. I don't care if you are and I like Zay. I got no problem with Zay Flowers. Talented dude. But the problem is you're saying something that happens to every team every season. And not every team trains the way the way other teams train.
No, they don't. They don't at
So
all.
it is it necessarily now. I'm not saying that maybe Harbaugh's hard coaching isn't a proponent of it. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be a part of the soup. Okay. But are you doing things in the off season to counteract that? Because
No.
you have a job that requires your body to stay in shape all year round. That means
But
that
they don't.
even when you off, you should being the operative word. It's kind of like somebody that goes to a regular job. You are
True.
supposed to be trained on your job no matter how busy you are, even in the not so busy season, you still need to be prepping and keeping your skills fresh.
Yeah, it's a year round thing. Even you've seen it with NBA players. You see NFL is even worse because you have a longer off season.
You
If
have a
you don't make
longer
the
off
playoffs,
season.
you're done
Yeah,
in January. You don't start back up until really July. You got 6 months.
yeah,
NBA just ended. They start back up what, end of September?
right,
And that's if they don't have an Olympic year
right.
or a FIBA year. I think it's a FIBA year this year. So if they got a world championship year, that's during that time frame. It might not be the quintessential NBA players, but the top of the line, but you still got some of them that's in there for it. So you
What
never know.
what is Atlanta gonna do? Because it said the next one up said Atlanta's still seeking quarterback stability. What are they gonna do?
Nothing. You got Penix, who was injury prone, but had glimpses, and then you went and
And
got
then
Tua,
and then
who
he and
you
then
got
he
Tua inside on AstroTurf.
now the one thing that seemed to come out that I noticed about him, he seemed to have a nonchalant temperament to
He's been
everything.
that way. He was that way in Alabama.
And now the problem, no, I'm talking about Penix.
Penix was like that. Uh, Penix was like that in Indiana.
Now the problem is you in the NFL now.
Don't matter.
And well, yeah, and that's gonna be part of the problem to me personally, because if you have that the problem with the nonchalant attitude is how much of it carries over to how you carry yourself. Like, are you gonna be what you need to be so that you can be a champion? Or are you gonna
A
be
lot of them don't know. A lot of them make that sacrifice. That's why, like people like Aaron Donald, people like Burrow, people uh like Brady and everything else get put in certain regards versus people like Richardson for Indianapolis, or how they were saying Darnold was in the beginning for it. It depends. It all depends on the situation. If you know that this is something that you want to do for your career, you're going to try to do whatever you can to maximize your career the entire time. Some people just happy to get there. I can sit there and I can put it on my LinkedIn that I'm an NFL football player and I'm good. I'm not trying to get the accolades. I'm not trying to get I'm not trying to get the longevity. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
show me the money?
Right. But what makes it harder for me to think about that now is that I can see if it was like it was in the beginning, back 20 some odd years ago, when they were breaking the bank as rookies right out the gate for it. You know how much you're gonna make as a rookie,
Right.
and you know how many years you're gonna get as a rookie, first round, second round, whatever else. You know that. So your biggest thing is to get to that second and especially that third check, that third contract. You get to that second, third contract, you normally go for the rest of your life. Well, most people don't make it to there. So, if you know that that's what your goal is, you bust your ass to get to that second and third check. If you don't, when you happy with that rookie contract, cool. Don't be complaining that you broke 5 years later talking about I didn't invest my money off of there and now I'm working as janitor at my old high school.
Uh, do you think that the Colts will be able to overcome their injuries to their stars in time for the season? And what do you think with a new as much of a new regime as he can have? Do you think that Cam Ward has a chance to do something in 2026?
Indianapolis, maybe. Indianapolis, you have to hope that Daniel Jones is not going to regress, and he can stay at the level that he showed when he was there before the injury. Hopefully, with Steichen's set up there, he can stay into that mode and he can be able to pull that off.
That offensive line, though.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't think they addressed it for real. Cam Ward,
he showed some glimpses.
he showed glimpses, but it's got to be the team around him. And they're still growing. I give them another year.
Okay.
I think they have a little bit of improvement, but I give them another year. Right now in that South, you got to deal with Jacksonville, who's still on a high, and Indianapolis, that's probably going to be back at least a little bit, just about as strong. And I don't trust Houston.
How much longer until the door closes on Jacksonville? The door already
2 years.
Yeah,
2
the
years
door.
to 3 years.
I got you.
Because with Liam Cohen there, it seemed like he was the first one to maximize everybody's potential that was there and get some type of result from it.
Unless an injury hit.
Unless the injury hits. And that's where you got to make sure you got depth in order to deal with it when it comes to the injuries.
Right.
But if I was to take between him and Houston, I'm taking Jackson. I'm taking Jacksonville because Houston showed you that defense can win you a championship, but you got to have at least a little bit of an offense.
Yep. Say whatever
And
you
they don't have a little bit
want.
of offense.
Yeah, say whatever you want about Trent Dilfer, but he did just enough. And they had a hell of a running back by the name of, if I'm not mistaken, Jamal Lewis, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. So so when you got your run game and you can stand on your run game and your quarterback like, oh, okay, so I don't have to do much. Okay, yeah, I can do the not do much. My body is still racked from all my years in Tampa Bay. Constantly staying on football follies and Crunch King, getting
But they
knocked
don't.
around and sacked and being on all the 80 sack videos because my offensive line was horrible would be being nice.
But it's not gonna matter. All right. But it's not even with that. It's just I think the biggest thing that's gonna come out of there with Houston is they gotta make sure that they have an established run game again. And then the other caveat is how well is Tank Dell gonna be when he comes back?
Cause they haven't had a consistent run game since, I want to say, Arian Foster.
Yeah,
Would that be fair?
yeah. Since not no, they had somebody. See, the crazy thing is that they brought in free agents, and with the free agents that they brought in, it was why did you bring them in and you had somebody already there? Because they had the one running back that was showing out before he got hurt. Because I remember him because I had picked him up on my fantasy league, and
Okay.
then it began with an S. It wasn't. It was something. He was a pretty decent running back, and then all of a sudden they went out and got Joe Mixon, and then they got Chubb, and it was like, why'd you do that? And you made him a third down back, and he was your starting running back. And when he would get in there, he was getting reps. He was running all over everybody.
You know what? I know who you're talking about, and I can't remember his daggone name either.
Yeah, he was he
Uh,
he was in there for a while, and it was like, what in the world? Why did y'all do that?
no, not the college team.
Texans rushers by year.
Woody Marks was pretty good.
Yeah, Woody Marks was good. Uh, that's Miami Fairbairn. That's the Damian Pierce.
Yeah,
That's who it was. Damian Pierce when he was out there. Well, no, that was 2021. Wow, they got a year that Rex Burkhead was the leading rusher. 2022. And
you
then
know,
Devin Singletary was there. And then Joe Mixon ran for 1,000 yards in 24. And then their leading rusher for 2025 was Joquavius Marks. He only had
yeah,
703 yards rushing. That was their leading rusher.
yeah, but he was a backup, and every time he got in, he was torching people. So was so, yeah, so was Woody Marks. That's why I couldn't understand. I'm like, why aren't y'all just going with him? What are we doing?
They don't know. That's his name. That's Woody Marks' real name is Joquavius. Yes, his real name is Joquavius.
Okay.
Yeah, stick with Woody. Not being funny. My bad. If I see you, hey,
To
more
it.
power to you, buddy.
Hey, it worked in Toy Story. Same.
Yeah, he's the same height. He's the same height as me, and I'm bigger. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, take my bow.
All right. So, this has been. Oh wait, there was two more. My bad. My bad.
Who else? Who else is left?
There was two. Well, you're gonna love one of them. Cleveland Browns enter a rebuilding phase for the umpteenth
Trash. They
time.
gonna get 2 wins, maybe 3. That's it. They're not gonna do anything. They traded away their only reason for them to get to 5 wins. Because he would probably keep their offense close enough to where a field goal would win. They would win games 6-3, 3-2, things like that.
The Raiders are facing a obvious quarterback dilemma. What do they
No, they're
do?
not. The Raiders are not facing a dilemma. If you've seen bench warmers block the little post that he did where they were talking about the upcoming quarterback battles that was in there for it, he said he said it's not a battle. He was playing as Kirk Cousins and Mendoza. He's like, it's not a battle. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be that bridge quarterback. That I'm going to do everything that I can in order to make sure that we can win until the fan base gets tired of me losing games and starts clamoring for me to get benched to bring you in before you're ready. And then the coaching staff's going to make that decision and I'm going to sit there and collect my check.
Right. Next. Oh,
That's
no.
what it is.
All right. The Jets possess assets but lack certainty. Agree or disagree?
Agree. And the curveball of the century. The Jets going to get Brendan Sorsby. They're going to draft him in supplemental draft. Watch. That's going to
Okay.
be,
Hot take. All right.
yeah, they're going to get, for some reason, I think the Jets are going to get Sorsby. Because any of the teams that took a quarterback that was questionable, Klubnik, um, Carson Beck, things like that, him that might be older and questionable,
Uh-huh.
and they knew that Sorsby was going to be possibly the number 3 or number 4 quarterback if he would have came out last year, and you got opportunity to basically hedge a second or third round draft pick next year to bring in a quarterback that you can let sit and develop and then turn them over and he'll be better than the quarterback that you drafted, why not?
Do you think that he will be able to overcome his personal issues
He's not going
enough?
to have a choice. This is the thing. You're going into the league now. Now they didn't came out in the investigation and they didn't said that even the games that he bet on his team,
Yeah.
he would be in his dorm room based off the records. He was never betting while he was with the team, and he was not around the team to know anything to where he would have gained an advantage by betting against them or for them during that time frame for it. So that's one of the things that it came out in the past week or so in some of the court filings. But
Mhm.
the fact of the matter is still this: the young man has a gambling problem. He's
Mhm.
going into the NFL. You are going to have to tell him point blank because they're saying he's still going to get suspended in the NFL once he gets drafted for violating those rules. There's for some reason he's going to get, even though he wasn't in the NFL, he's going to get some type of suspension for it. And it's probably just to be a warning shot saying, okay, you did this while you was in college. You cannot do this during the pros. Because if
And
you do it, you're going to be gone. You're going to get Schlichter real quick.
well, if you think that you do something in college and you think you're just gonna jump to the NFL to escape punishment, that
I
that
don't
could
think that
also
that's what
be
that was. I don't
it,
think that's what that was. I
it's
think
gotta
that
it's the only reason I say it's gotta be is because if I'm not mistaken, he's not the first person to do it.
no, but in this situation here, once the Big 12 filed the injunction last week, before earlier on. Remember, we were talking about that on last week's show. Once they filed that injunction and they listed all of the reasons why they were doing that, and his lawyers took a look at it, that would have got stretched out to where he wouldn't have played this season anyway.
Right.
So why, if you know for a fact you're going to be in a legal battle to where you're not going to be able to play at all, they're not going to give you that year of eligibility back because it was under suspension in the first place. Cut your losses. And him and his lawyer went in there to Texas Tech because Texas Tech was going to fight. And they're still dealing with the fights of it because they're like, the Big 12 ain't rescinded their lawsuit. They're like, you were literally about to have somebody that you knew was betting on college football play as your quarterback and got a court injunction, got your attorney general involved in order to try to make a player, make an exception for one player. No.
All right. Arizona, what are they gonna do?
Absolutely freaking nothing.
They finally got rid of Kyler Murray. Is there any chance that they'll be able to actually live up to
No.
what? No, nothing.
Not this year, no. You got to bring in a new quarterback. You got to try to get your supposed Hall of Famer son wide receiver up to speed to where he's actually playing. Your running game is not there. Your offensive line still sucks.
And that's why the running game is not there, and
Exactly.
the running backs stay hurt, whether they're still with the team or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna do anything.
Fair. All right. Let's see here. All right. Oh, crap. Go back. All right. So the last but not least, Miami. Miami faces the NFL's toughest outlook. The Miami Dolphins top this ranking because of the uncertainty surrounding virtually every aspect of the franchise.
Exactly. Every bit of that team is a question mark.
Malik Willis has an opportunity to prove himself, but concerns about the supporting cast and overall roster depth make the Dolphins one of the league's biggest question marks heading into the season.
Who is the only person that you don't have the question that's on that Dolphins team right now? Chan. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody else is a question mark.
Yeah. As long as the line opens the holes, he will run through them.
As long as they open a sliver.
Yeah.
He can squirt through and be able to go through there. That's it.
Now the question is
will
they? Now the question is will they, knowing that in the land of pass friendly rules, will they go run first, become a run first team?
No. Think about where their coach came from. Their coach came from the Green Bay School of Broadcasting. No, there will be run mixed in. Right. There might be a balance to a 60-40. But run heavy? No, never. No. Your days of seeing a primarily run heavy offense is going to be the only teams that you're going to see with a run heavy offense is they're going to have a defense to where ball control is going to be the biggest way that they can pull it off. That's it. That's the only way.
And that's what a lot of these teams need to do, because like me, you
but it's not exciting.
Even before I started this podcast, and me and you would end up in conversations with other people. And I would remind people, the teams that used to dominate were
Mhm.
run they were run first.
Right.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
But it's not exciting. That's what's making it
It's
bad.
it's exciting if y'all get that blocking up because and the reason why I say that is this. The amount of runs that people like Emmett and Willie Parker and Jerome Bettis and Adrian Peterson and occasionally Todd Gurley, um uh m- Marshall Falk, occasionally Edgerrin James, where they bust off them 20, 30 yarders.
But
Those
see,
are
that's the thing though. It's the 20 or 30 yarders that would happen every once in a while. It's not even with that. That was exciting during that time frame because it was the 20 or 30 of them. But the rest of them, nah, they ain't doing all that. That's why it's not. You have to have the running back that's going to make it exciting.
yes.
That's if you don't have the if you have the running back that's just getting the 5 to 6 yard, that's what makes Derrick Henry exciting to see. That's what made what's his name?
Saquon.
Saquon exciting to see. That's what drove them to be those ones that everybody want to watch in there for that. Everybody else, if it's just a 5 yard run, 5 yard run, a catch out the backfield for a big game, it's not exciting. The NFL became I want a deep ball or I want a quick slant that's broken for a touchdown lead. That's
Yeah.
why the wide receivers became the divas that they did. Because if you think about
To
the
a worse
transition,
extent. Yeah.
if you think about the definition of what it was when it was, if you think in the 90s, in the early 2000s, when you had a Koye, you had LaDainian Tomlinson, you had Barry, you had the Bust, you had Corey Dillon or James Brooks if he was Cincinnati or Icky Woods. If you had Keith Byers, things like that, those type of running backs, Bo,
Bo and Marcus Allen. Yeah.
right? If you had those type of running backs that was in there, they made it exciting because you had to be that back then. The linemen were so big and bulky on the defense, they couldn't react to them people coming through the lead there. Some people ask that question: would Barry Sanders be able to juke and move around in an age of Aaron Donald, Miles Garrett, and Micah Parsons now that's more agile as a lineman to get around blocks or anything else to come get them? And I was like, you guys never watched Barry Sanders.
Right.
Because Barry Sanders, you might have thought they might be agile, but Barry Sanders had a knack for making people look foolish just by just doing a jump step, a step back, anything else.
I used to sit up there and get sad because I thought he was tackled and down and he wasn't so many times. He did it against Washington, he did it against Chicago. He did it against so many teams. And like I've always told you, he was the most exciting dude that you thought was supposed to lose yardage every time the ball was hiked and was going to him.
Between him, I'll say this. I loved I love being a running back when I was little because I grew up in an era where whatever style of running back you wanted to be, there was somebody that you could watch on Sunday and see their style of play.
Yeah,
If you want to be a scat back, you had Barry. If you want to be a power back, you had Christian Okoye.
until he came face to face with Steve Atwater, but I digress.
Right. If you wanted to see, if you wanted to see a combination of both, you had Bo.
Yep. Bo
And
knows.
Bo, it was never the one time when you would look at the season when you would get I would get the Athlon book and I would sit there and read the magazine, bone up on the season when I was younger, and I would look at the schedule. And I knew whenever the Raiders was playing the Bengals, I was like, he's going to run for at least a 90-yard touchdown. And every single time, except for the one where he hurt his hip, every single time he broke a run for at least 90 yards against the Bengals when they played in LA.
Yeah.
And it would be like, yep, called it. And people
and,
would be
and
like,
and used to hate to play him when he would get on excellent
oh God.
on Super Tecmo Bowl because you was getting thrown. You were there's no question you were getting thrown. And Barry was gone. I
Between
mean not
Barry,
Barry, Bo on excellent. You don't want that smoke.
Barry, the two best running back tandems that was in there was Bo and Marcus Allen and Barry Sanders and putting Mel Gray as the other running back for the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
People used to get mad because Mel Gray was just as fast as Barry Sanders. And you
Yep.
could change your playbook to where you had 2 runs for Barry, that was all sweeps, and you would have a draw play and a toss play for Mel Gray. And you could
Yep.
run. I ran for 1,000 yards with both of them in the season. Just sit up there. Touchdown. That was the only person to wear Mel Gray. And I think I mentioned this before in a previous show. Mel Gray is the only person on Tecmo Bowl that I ever ran a punt back with.
Oh, I ran with quite a few people. Dave Magott.
Yeah.
Dave Magott, Marcus Allen. Who else?
I wouldn't let Marcus run back punts. I would put Bo back there.
No, wait. I might be wrong on that. There was somebody that I used to pull off the bench that for some odd reason he was a fast receiver, but they had him on the bench, and I can't think of his name right now.
Tim Brown?
I need to pull. No. He was on
For
the
the
bench.
Raiders?
Yeah. I can't remember. I used to always sub him in for somebody else. I think I used to put him in at tight end and I used to put him in at kick return. And I'm gonna have to get out my Super Bowl. But by next week I'm gonna try to pull out my Super Tecmo Bowl game, hook it up to one of my TVs, and see if I can figure out who I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think the funniest ones was when I would get like the teams that had like the slower dudes, or like if they were on bad, and somehow I would still get the return doing the
Oh,
dominoes because I would time it just right. Like, nope, domino, nope, domino, nope, domino, nope, domino. And those were so funny because they were so in slow motion. It's like, how are y'all not catching me right now? It's not like I could like change my difficulty or anything. How are y'all not catching me right now? Because dude is going so slow.
it used to be, I used to make people, I used to be that person that would sit there and would be at a first and goal with Bo Jackson and run all the way back to the other end of the field and then go through everybody and score the touchdown.
Okay, that's dirty. I've seen it done, but that's dirty. I was never that bold. I was, I might go back 20, 30 yards or something like that, but I was never so bold as to go down to the other end zone. Well, wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
That Peter Griffin clip, that was me.
Okay. So my cousin, when I came to when I first came back to Cincinnati, my cousin taught me a move to where I became very excellent at getting sacks. Did they teach you the move where you use your nose tackle and you just slide and get the quarterback while he's doing his 3 to 5, 7 step
Yeah.
drop.
It was that move,
Oh,
and then there
my
was
nose tackles became a problem after he showed me that move.
it was that move, and then there was a move where if you did it right and you timed it right off the ends, if you was holding diagonal at the snap, you would shoot straight through and you would go right to the quarterback. Because I broke who was it wasn't Clay Matthews. It was somebody for it might have been Clay Matthews. It was somebody for Houston, I think. That was a linebacker or a defensive or a defensive end that I had.
Yeah, it was Clay.
I broke the sack
Clay
record.
was the linebacker.
I broke the sack records. I was sit there. I ended the season with 45 sacks.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. So while I couldn't mess with the difficulty levels, when I just wanted to have fun with it just to see how many I could get, and when I especially hated San Fran, anybody I played over there, or anybody I played with over there, and I was playing against San Fran, I did kind of go in and like change their plays to like plays that I knew I could get automatic sacks off of. So so
San Francisco.
like when they do that when they do the flea flicker, oh, I used to kill the flea flicker on getting sacks. Although
Why would you get sacks? Blow up the quarterback. If you got back there, blow up the quarterback, instant fumble.
I was literally breaking sack records. I would get the fumble because I would hit him so many times that it would get to the point to where it was like, okay, you didn't hit him so many times, the ball's coming out.
Between him, what was it? Because I used to love playing. Now, I know I hated San Francisco.
Yes.
But I love Ronnie Lott.
Yes, sir.
Ronnie Lott led the league because I made it a goal to beat the win a Super Bowl with every team on the game.
Right.
The season that I won with San Fran, he led the league in sacks, interceptions, fumbles caused, and fumble recoveries.
Jesus.
I would blitz from the safety position. And by the time he gets about 10 yards of speed, he gets that speed boost.
Right.
So if it was a receiver, somebody trying to throw the ball, or a quarterback trying to throw the ball, I could jump and block the ball.
Right.
Or as soon as I got within 3 yards, I was in the tackle button and sliding right into him.
Right. All right. So this has been a great show that ended with some with some old video game nostalgia. I'm Dante Suave. This is Mr. J.
Being out. Sorry, y'all. I hadn't eaten dinner yet. So
I put something in my stomach when the show started. That's why I was doing a lot of
Yeah, I had it was sitting here. I was like, let me go ahead and eat this now.
All right. But Dante Suave, Mr. J, we will see y'all next week.
Have a good one, everybody.
Products, we not the same. I'ma save all of my change. Y'all can make it rain. Still ain't gon' fuck. And Trinidad, I don't know James, but the roller y'all gold, everything. Rick James, Liddy off the Mary Jane. She a nag, she complain, had to bust it down, take it down. Chris Brown, flip around, beat it down, eat a child, win the water, Nemo now, a piece of pound. My greeting now, don't touch me, nigga, ease it down. I like my hoes, just like my clothes, they dripping now.
Hey, don't even give nothing else loose.
I ain't finna say shit else, man. I'll be on the fucking way.
Hey,
What up, Tay?
what's good?